Here's your host, Brian Fisher.
Hi, and welcome to the second hour of this Wednesday edition of Focal Point on AFR Talk. Brian Fisher is my name. This is Focal Point, the home of muscular Christianity on conservative talk radio. Just looking at a story at Right Wing News, not Right Wing Watch, which is left-leaning, but Right Wing News, featuring a story about an imam that preaches in Memphis, Tennessee. This guy's right here in the United States of America. This guy's preaching openly in the mosques, or a mosque there in Memphis, Tennessee. Here is his message: Jews and Christians are filthy. Their lives and properties can be taken in jihad by the Muslims. That's a Muslim, and he's not just he's not an outlier. He is an imam. He is a respected leader in the Muslim community. He's what we would call an ordained pastor, the equivalent of that in the Muslim faith. Jews and Christians are filthy. Their lives and properties can be taken by the Muslims. There is your religion of peace. Now, you heard the tease in the top of the hour package that Jeff put together there to open the second hour about what's going on with the IRS. Grab clip number one, Rob. This is Nancy Cortez. She is with CBS, and she is talking here in this story about what has happened, what's going on with the IRS. Now, remember, when you listen to this little story, this excerpt of this story, this is the group that's trying to put the AFA out of business. This is the group that's withholding tax-exempt recognition for Tea Party groups and has been since 2010. These are the ones that are trying to hassle. These are the ones that are trying to put Tea Party types and conservative people in jail. Not just withhold their tax-exempt status, but according to Lois Lerner, they were looking for ways to work with the DOJ to throw us in prison. So this is the IRS that you're talking about, and this huge scandal has surfaced now in the IRS. And I'm telling you, listen to Nancy Cortez, I don't want these people anywhere near any part of the American society, especially any part of the political society. Listen to Nancy Cortez, CBS News.
Part of the problem is that these bonuses are written into the contracts between the government and unions for these IRS workers, so they're very difficult to claw back when there's misconduct. They're practically part of a worker's salary. 70% of IRS workers get some form of bonus. The IRS says it is working to change the system, and it should have some answers, Nora, by June.
All right, so what she's referring to there is that the IRS has paid bonuses of $2.8 million over the last 2 years to at least 2,800 employees who had been disciplined for misconduct. They had been disciplined for misconduct. I mean, actual action had been taken against them. I mean, their offenses were of such a nature that they rose to the top of the pile and demanded some kind of attention from a bureaucracy which in my judgment seems to be corrupt from top to bottom. So if they actually got their hands slapped, you can imagine what has gone unreprimanded and undisciplined. $2.8 million paid out to 2,800 IRS employees who had been disciplined for misconduct, including not paying their federal taxes. Everybody's up there in Nevada up in arms over Clyde Bundy not paying his grazing fees. Well, how about having the people that work at the IRS and collect money from us, how about having them pay the fees that they owe to the federal government before they start hassling us? And what this reporter at CBS pointed out, and this is in the stories on this scandal, the government does not provide guidance on providing awards to employees with conduct issues. So the IRS does not consider tax compliance or other misconduct when issuing performance awards. This story from American Thinker has a little more of the information about some of the skullduggery that's gone on here. Here's some of the misconduct. Now, these people got bonuses. I want you to ask yourself this question: where you work. Just think where you work or the last place you work. would you get a bonus? Would you get rewarded? Would you get a Christmas bonus if you had done any of these things? Drug use, making violent threats, fraudulently claiming unemployment benefits, misusing government credit cards, and failure to pay taxes. Had over 1,100 of these employees that had not paid their taxes, and they got discretionary awards or bonuses of over $1 million, 10,000 hours in extra paid vacation. And what this article, American Thinker, says, conduct is only deemed relevant to awards of permanent pay increases, not for bonuses or extra vacation time. So it's not a liability. You can be a drug user, tax cheat, and you can still be eligible for your bonus at the end of the year. Now, this illustrates a classic difference between conservatives and liberals. We got the same thing here on Obamacare. Maybe I'll have that story later about how these people getting raises in pay. The people that oversaw the Obamacare rollout. Another total absolute catastrophe. They're getting raises. They're getting performance increases. At the same time, they're rolling out and responsible for this utter Chernobyl care program. And it illustrates a profound difference between conservatives and liberals. Conservatives reward achievement. Conservatives reward integrity. Conservatives reward honesty. Conservatives reward innovation. Conservatives reward hard work. What do liberals reward? They reward failure. They reward ineptitude. They reward corruption. They reward immorality. What do I mean by that? Well, these people are guilty of it, and they know it, and they are giving them bonuses. So that's a huge difference between liberals and conservatives. Conservatives reward achievement. Liberals reward failure. Let's go to Iris in Dallas, Texas. Iris, welcome. Thanks for calling. Thanks for waiting. What's on your mind?
Oh, well, a couple of things, but real fast about Truman Cafe. This really bothered me because I was one that waited an hour and a half in Tennessee with my grandkids to eat that day and support them so much. And when he came through, it touched me, and I couldn't even bring myself to go and support a chicken salad anymore because I felt like I would be a hypocrite to support him. But two things about that. One is that a Messianic pastor that lives in Israel now, Keith Trader, wrote a book called Covenant Relationships, and his famous quote is, "With the compromise to gain, you ultimately lose." Well, that's exactly what you said today. What he compromised to gain, he ultimately lost. And that's my number one point. And my second point was so many of my friends did not know that. There's a lot of Chick-fil-A's who live in Rockwell, right outside of Dallas. There's one in Rockwell, but in every little town and every little suburb around us. And nobody knew about it except me. And I said, it's because you have to listen to AFR. If you listen to regular media, unless you hear it on the 700 Club or another Christian outlet, you will not hear the truth unless you get online to a Christian outlet. So I wanted to tell you that because a lot of people are still shocked to hear that such a fine Christian man would totally, as I say, surrender to the enemy. So,
all right. Well, listen, I appreciate the call, Iris. Thank you very much. Thank you for your kind words, and thank you for getting the word out about AFR. If you listen to the mainstream media, you don't listen to the mainstream media, you're uninformed. If you do, you are misinformed. That's why you listen to Focal Point and AFR Talk. Back in 2.